Hey, welcome to Yoga with Adriene. I'm Adriene, and today we are going to learn one of my favorite poses, the bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana, as part of our Foundations of Yoga series. So hop on the mat and let's learn bridge. Okay, so we're going to begin flat on our backs today, letting the soles of the feet come to the mat and the knees point up towards the sky. Let's tuck our chins into our chests and lengthen through the back of our necks. And then maybe just take a second here to open the palms and breathe, letting the back relax into the mat. Then I'll bring my awareness to my heels. I'm going to draw my heels up towards my sit bones and keeping my knees in line with the hip points. I'll reach my fingertips down and kind of use this as a gauge here. So where my fingertips land is pretty much where the heels can be. Sometimes we bring them a little bit closer in yoga for a more deeper approach, more deeper opening in the front body. But I would recommend as a beginner using this little cheat here, fingertips to heels. All right. So from here, I'll press into all four corners of the feet. So I really want to spread awareness through all four corners of my feet, particularly the inner arches. Sometimes we tend to let the knees widen and go to the outer edges of the feet. That's the tendency. So I want to keep my knees in line with my hips and my awareness spreading through all four corners of the feet, right? I want to pay attention to my alignment, set up my pose just right. So from here, I'll press into my feet. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, I'll scoop my tailbone up, drawing my navel down towards the mat, hugging the navel to the spine. I'll continue this journey, scooping the tailbone up, pressing into the feet. I begin to lift my hip points up, palms pressing flat into the mat for a little bit of support. Tailbone scooping up. You notice here I'm going nice and slow, traveling up the spine, kind of getting a yummy massage here. I continue lifting the hip points nice and slow, pressing into the spine. I can release my palms open here. I can grab onto the outer edges of the mat, or I can just keep pressing all 10 fingerprints down strong. So there's a couple different options here as I continue to lift the hips. Bridge pose. Neck is nice and long here. Again, the tendency is going to want to come to those outer edges of the feet to support, but remember your alignment. Stay stacked, working with integrity. Toes pointing forward. Couple of action points and safety precautions. I'm not looking at you on purpose right now because I don't want to ever turn my neck, my head, to look at somebody else's mat or to look at you, my friends out there watching this now. I want to keep the neck nice and long. Not move it side to side so that we don't injure it. Keep it nice and happy and supported. This pose is tough, but I don't want to create any tension in the neck or in the face or in the tush. There's a tendency to really squeeze the tushy here. I don't say tush or tushy. I don't know why I just said that. The bum, the buttocks, the glutes, keep them soft. So that's the beauty of this posture, is marrying that strength, that activity, with a calm, with an ease. Another action point, I want to press my hips forward, really reaching my knees towards the front edge of the mat. So I'm not just lifting up towards the sky, but imagine scooping your tailbone to the backs of your knees, or often I tell my students, sit bones to the backs of the knees. So I'm lifting the hips, but I'm really thinking about drawing my sit bones to kiss the back of the knees there. We can take a couple breaths here. Perhaps you've already fallen out and been like, why is she still up there? But I encourage you on the journey down to move with the breath. I often go down on an exhale, but as always, I encourage you to experiment with your breath, finding what feels good. I don't fall out of the pose, but rather I take this nice, slow journey down. Feels yummy on my spine here as I slowly release the hips, pelvis back down to the earth, keeping my knees in line. Now I can turn my head and smile at you. Okay, so to go a little bit deeper in the pose, we're gonna Go up one more time. Here, I'm going to just show you one more thing to go a little bit deeper. I'll inhale, again, pressing into all four corners of the feet. Let this movement, rather than just hiking the hips up, let's enjoy this journey, right? You can get a nice, solid back massage out of this as well. But let it start from the tailbone like we do in our cat-cow. It starts here. The movement starts here. I'll scoop the tailbone up, lower back becomes flush with the mat. And then I'm slowly going to travel up my spine as I lift up into my bridge pose. And actually for this one, I'm going to draw my heels a little bit closer in case you want to try that to go a little bit deeper. So heels draw in towards the sit bones, toes pointing forward, knees up towards the sky and in line with the hips. Pressing into the palms, or again, sometimes it's nice to grab the outer edge of the mat for a little stability. Or if we're really going for the ease, the grace today, I'll go palms up. So you can experiment with that. Inhale. And on an exhale, scooping that tailbone up. Moving with your breath. We don't have to do this all in one breath. We can breathe in and out nice and easy. Slowly lifting the hip points up, but thinking about drawing these sit bones to the backs of the knees. Knees really moving forward energetically even. Pressing into the inner arches of the feet, pressing into the ball joints of the big toe will really help you figure out what the hell I just meant by drawing your knees energetically forward. Now to go a little bit deeper, I'm going to continue nice, strong in the legs here, continue pressing into the inner arches of the feet, continue to scoop my tailbone up towards the sky, but this time I can walk my shoulder blades in together one at a time, and perhaps interlace the fingertips underneath my bridge. Walking the shoulder blades in and really stretching through the front body. Neck is nice and long. I find that softness in my face here. Can take a couple breaths here. Sometimes we can also use the thumbs here, the hands to support, or if we have blocks, we can do a more restorative version of this posture. But this is a great heart opener here. I'm still really strong in my legs here. Breathing into my belly, lifting those hip points up towards the backs of the knees. To come out of this posture, I'll release the fingertips with grace. And then let that be my cue to slowly release down. Walking down the spine, nice and slow. And then pelvis releases. As a quick counter pose, I'll hug my knees in towards my chest, wrap my arms around my shins, and just take a couple seconds here to rock a little back and forth. Careful you don't get too tense in the shoulders here as you do that. Remember to relax them down and away from the ears. We can do this a couple times. You can even draw a couple circles with the knees, just massaging the lower back. And then I can release the soles of my feet to the ground. And sometimes it feels great to do it with a thud. And then I'm here for another bridge pose. We can do this as many times as feels good, or often we'll begin or end class with a couple different variations of this posture, which we'll do at a later date. Okie doke, so that was bridge pose. Super yummy posture. I love bridge because it's active and relaxing, and so we can practice balancing those too. Also really great for the ladies, really therapeutic for the women, but really therapeutic for everyone. I'll list all the benefits on the blog, so visit the blog at yogawithadriene.com. Make sure you subscribe, leave comments, questions below, and enjoy your bridge pose. Thank you, and namaste. A really awesome pose for the ladies in terms of therapeutic relief for lady problems. Not problems. I can't say problems. Damn it.